Welcome back to The Explainer. Today we are taking on a concept that absolutely destroys the single biggest excuse holding people back from entrepreneurship. We're talking about launching a real, functioning, profitable business with zero, and I mean zero upfront cash. Based entirely on our source material, today we are unpacking the ultimate $0 blueprint. So if you're focused and ready to get to work, you are definitely in the right place. Let's get into it.
Look, what if you could start a business without draining thousands of dollars from your savings account? Imagine launching a venture without signing a brutal lease for some expensive office space, without hoarding a massive warehouse full of inventory, and without financing fancy state-of-the-art equipment. Oh, and you certainly don't need to go begging an angel investor or a bank for a loan. It kind of sounds like a pipe dream, right? But as our source material proves, building a zero-budget startup isn't just a fantasy, it's entirely possible today.
But hey, before we get too carried away here, we need a quick reality check. Starting with zero money absolutely does not mean starting with zero effort. The truth is, we're just replacing financial capital with sweat equity. If you're bringing $0 to the table, you have to bring your time, your skills, and a pretty much unbreakable level of consistency. Basically, you are paying for this business with your hustle.
Okay, let's dive into this. Here is our highly actionable roadmap for today. We'll kick things off with the $0 mindset, then viable zero-budget business ideas, followed by getting your first customer. After that, we'll map out the 30-day launch plan and wrap up with 3 mistakes to avoid.
Starting with Section 1, the $0 mindset. Sweat equity over capital.
The core of literally any zero-budget startup boils down to this incredibly simple, elegant loop. You have a skill. Someone else out there in the world has a problem. You provide the solution to that problem, and as a result, they pay you. That's it, the whole shebang. It's not about complex supply chains or massive overhead. Your very first investment isn't cash. It is simply your time and your sheer willingness to learn a skill that cures a headache for someone else.
Moving right along to Section 2, viable zero-budget business ideas, service and scalable models.
Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is how the source material reorients the way we think about offering services. Notice the hyper-specific alignment between the business type, the target customer, and the service itself. Whether you're freelancing, offering social media management, becoming a virtual assistant, tutoring, or even jumping into AI services, the absolute secret sauce here is specificity. We aren't just out there saying, hey, I do social media. No, we are saying, I create content calendars specifically for local gyms. You cannot try to be everything to everyone. You pick one highly specific target audience and you solve one crystal clear problem for them. And the best part? Doing this requires zero overhead, just an internet connection and a highly targeted approach. Let's see how this builds into something even more scalable. A great bonus idea from the source is the content business model. This is all about building an audience around a specific niche, say personal finance, fitness, or career advice, on platforms like YouTube, TikTok, or through a newsletter. Once you capture that attention, you monetize through ads, sponsorships, affiliates, or pitching your own services. But I want to highlight a really stark warning from our source here. Content is not instant money. Actually, scratch that. It's a grind. You have to provide immense, consistent value first. Because honestly, people won't follow you, let alone pay you, if you aren't actually helping them. Let's keep exploring these scalable routes and talk about digital products for a second. $10,000. How do you generate that without any physical overhead, shipping costs, or manufacturing? Well, it's just simple math. If you spend your time creating a highly useful digital product, like a budgeting spreadsheet or a design template, and you price it at just $10, if 1,000 people buy it, you've just generated 10 grand in revenue. Boom. In fact, the source highlights everyday creators who've built entirely thriving businesses starting with a single $10 organization template. You build the product once, and you can sell it literally an infinite number of times.
So, the crucial point is, you must shift your mindset immediately. Stop asking, what can I create? And start asking, what problem do people already have? Whether it's an ebook, a template, or a step-by-step guide, your product has to exist solely to make an existing problem easier to solve. Find the friction in people's everyday lives and build a digital product that completely removes it.
All right, Section 3, getting your first customer, the direct outreach strategy. So how do you actually acquire customers when you literally have $0 to spend on ads? You do it through direct value-first outreach. And it's a beautifully simple 3-step process. Step 1, find businesses or individuals who would genuinely benefit from your service. Step 2, point out one specific problem you noticed in their current operations. Step 3, show them exactly how you can help fix it. I want you to understand this deeply. You are never, ever begging for a sale. You are operating from a position of authority by demonstrating your sheer value up front.
And this brilliantly illustrates what that looks like in practice. First, we have bad outreach. It's generic, it's lazy, hi, I offer amazing services, hire me. Look, if you send this, it's going straight to the trash bin, no question. Now consider the good outreach approach. Hey, noticed you haven't posted short-form videos recently. I created a free sample concept showing how your existing content could be turned into short videos to help you. Do you see the difference there? The good outreach is highly personalized. It identifies a very specific gap, and it actually provides a free sample of the work to prove your competence before ever asking for a single dollar. That is exactly how you win clients from scratch.
Which brings us to Section 4, the 30-day launch plan, from idea to customer.
Let's walk through this timeline together, week by week. Days 1 through 7, choose and learn. Do not try to start 5 different businesses at once. Pick just one idea from the ones we discussed and spend this first week intensely learning the basic skills required. Days 8 through 14, create your offer. You need to craft something hyper-specific like, I will edit 10 short videos a month for real estate agents. Days 15 through 21, build samples. You need 2 to 5 pieces of sample work to prove you can actually do what you say you can do. And no, you don't need paying clients for this. Just build the samples yourself for hypothetical clients. Finally, days 22 through 30, find customers. This is where you ruthlessly pitch local businesses and your network using that value-driven direct outreach strategy we just covered. Track who you contacted, adjust based on their feedback, and just keep pushing.
And finally, Section 5, 3 mistakes to avoid. Don't ruin your zero-budget startup before it even begins.
Let's rapidly run through these fatal errors straight from the source material. First mistake, waiting for perfection. Listen to me, you really do not need a perfectly designed logo. And you absolutely do not need a beautiful website to get your first customer. Just start with a simple, clear offer. Second mistake, buying too much too early. Do not go spending hundreds of dollars on software or gear before you have proven that people actually want what you are selling. Start lean. Validate the demand first. And the third mistake, chasing pure passive income. This is a super dangerous trap. Even digital products require marketing, customer service, and ongoing updates. Effort is always required.
Which brings us to the final thought of this explainer. The blueprint is right in front of you, and the barrier to entry has quite literally never been lower. You absolutely do not need money to start, but I'll leave you with this one question. Are you willing to put in the effort? $0 upfront does not mean zero effort. But if you're willing to trade your time, your focus, and your skills, the opportunity is entirely yours for the taking. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer. Stay focused, get to work, and I'll see you next time.